Hey everybody, Chris back here, another video. I did my blues and my rock pop video, so I thought I'd make a jazz. I haven't made a jazz video for a while, and one of my favorite types of music. So anyways, what we're listening to right now is James Brown songs, Out of Sight. Great album. This is actually some VCLT I got from Andre, so thanks Andre. First up, Lee Morgan, the Sidewinder. Obviously some condition issues. Most of these I got off of eBay and stuff, but the price was really right on this one. This can get up there in price. The vinyl is in fantastic shape. This is just all I had to deal with. So hopefully I find a cover one day, or if I can find an upgrade copy. But for now, the music's the most important thing to me. So obviously this is one of his best albums, The Sidewinder. The song, The Sidewinder, is just, I mean, really, really a great song. On this you got Joe Henderson, Barry Harris, Bob Cranshaw, and Billy Higgins on drums. Great lineup. At the time this came out, this was the highest Blue Note selling album they had of all time. So really, really good album. Glad to have that in the collection. Next up we have another Lee Morgan. This is actually from 1980. This is Tomcat. So a little history behind this one. I know it looks like a later repress, but this is actually a first pressing of this album. This was recorded right after The Sidewinder, but obviously, like I said, that was a high-selling album for Blue Note, and they wanted to kind of play off the success of that. So this was recorded in 1963. No. I thought it said on here. I read it. Anyways, 1964. Sorry, recorded in '64, but they wanted to play off the success of that. So, "Search for a New Land" and this was recorded also in '64, but this was, tabled to the side. Obviously, "Search for a New Land" was released sometime after that, and this one, got lost in the shuffle, and they found it again in 1980, and we're like, hey, let's release it. So, great album, recorded Van Gelder as usual. Jackie McLean, Curtis Fuller, McCoy Tyner, Bob Cranshaw, and the great Art Blakey on drums. So, fantastic lineup. I would highly recommend this album to anybody. It can be had a lot cheaper than a lot of his other Blue Note albums, and good stuff. Next one, next artist needs no introduction really, John Coltrane. This is First Meditations. This is from '77 on Impulse, so a little bit later. It was recorded in '65 though, just released a little bit later. And he actually had another album. This is First Meditations. I think he had a Meditations album without the first that came out a couple months after this. That one included like Pharoah Sanders and stuff, but it remixed some of the songs. I believe they're a little bit different. This one still had his famous quartet on here. McCoy Tyner, Jimmy Garrison, Elvin Jones. This is one of the last albums they recorded together as well. So nice to add that to the collection. Sorry. Another one from him, My Favorite Things. One of his most popular albums, I guess you could say. I like more of his original stuff. This one's, covering a lot of show tunes, obviously. Rodgers, Hammerstein, music from Sound of Music. But this is also one of the first albums he played soprano sax on. Sorry about that. But it's a good album. This is a later repress. You can kind of tell just because of the color of this. Sometimes it's black, sometimes it's like an orange color. But this is like a later '60s repress. Because this album came out in '61. Because he's still on Atlantic, obviously. But the repress came out in like '69, I think, or '8. So good to have it to the collection. Yes, we got Herbie Hancock, Thrust. This is more Herbie Hancock funkiness. This is 1974 on Columbia. Decent album. More fusion-y than funk, I guess you could say. But I mean, with that hair, obviously you can tell it's probably going to get pretty funky. Actual Proof think is on here, and that's my favorite track that he has on here. Yeah, on the B side. It's an okay album, you know, I'm not gonna lie, but I prefer his earlier stuff. But this album is my favorite funk album that he did. This is Manchild. Normally, I kind of steer clear of the funk a little bit, but every once in a while I do enjoy it, and this is definitely my favorite by him as far as funk. This is from 1975 on Columbia. Let's see here. What was the track I really enjoyed? Hang Up Your Hang-Ups, which is the first track on the album, is definitely pretty funky. If you enjoy that kind of stuff, you definitely got to pick that one up. Next one came from that same seller. I got that first Lee Morgan album on, so it's got the same condition issues. This is Freddie Hubbard, The Night of the Cookers. This is recorded at Club La Marchal. Freddie Hubbard, Lee Morgan, James Spaulding, Larry Ridley, Pete LaRocca. So another great lineup. This is Volume 1. There was also a Volume 2. The vinyl on this is excellent as well. That's the reason I got it. This is from 1965 on Blue Note. This is only 1 track per side, or 2 tracks per side, I'm pretty sure. Yep, 2 tracks per side, so long tracks, but great live album. Let's see if I can find part 2 now. Next, Thelonious Monk. This is a later repress on Columbia. This came out in, originally it came out in 1964. So this is a later, it's like 68 or 69 repress. This has got the Columbia with the, writing all around, not the 2i, which I think this originally came out on. So great album. Just like Coltrane, my favorite things, this is kind of a cover, I guess. Not a cover, but he played a lot of show tunes that were popular at the time. Kind of covered some, let's see, I thought he mentioned on here what songs. Western classical music. So he kind of just did a bunch of different things on here. April in Paris is a great tune on here, but enjoyable listen. Next, Milt Jackson, Sunflower. It's on CTI. Crazy lineup on here. Obviously this was from 73, but it's still jazz. He didn't get too funky on this album. It's still jazz. But listen to the lineup. He's got Herbie Hancock, Freddie Hubbard, Ron Carter, and Billy Cobham. I mean, crazy. This is before CTI started getting a little funky. This can be had very cheap. I found this at an estate sale for a couple bucks. And I just looked at the lineup. I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. So I came home, gave it a listen, and sure enough, sounds great. Check this one out if you don't have it. Like I said, I'm always in for cheap jazz because jazz can get expensive. That same place I went also had this album, Charles Mingus, Changes 1. Definitely a Mingus I did not have, and one I don't really see very often. It's not terribly expensive if you look online, but just did not have this one. This is from 75 on Atlantic. Solid, enjoyable album. Not my favorite from him, but it's still really good. Let's see here. Remember Rockefeller at Attica is a great track. Oh, my kitty cat's meowing at me. I'm kind of happy he, kind of stick to the jazz and not fusion at that time. What, you want to say hi? Alright, this is my, 15-year-old cat. Say hi, Roxy. Roxy, say hi. There you go. Kitty cat on video. How about that? Alright. That's Roxy. She's pretty old. She's like 14 or something, so we always try to be real careful when we carry her. Next album, I got these 3 from the same seller on eBay. I only bought 1, but then he sent me 2 for free. So the one that I bought is fantastic. This is Steamin' with the Miles Davis Quintet on Prestige. This is an original on Prestige. Look at that. Great condition. Like I said, got it off eBay. Sometimes, you know, I just kind of search, and if the price is right, I'll buy it. So the price was right on this one. The lineup, are you ready for this? It's got John Coltrane, Red Garland, Paul Chambers, and Philly Joe Jones. So Coltrane and Miles, you had me. I mean, I gotta buy it. And I listened to it the other night, and it's just fantastic. I mean, what more can I say? You know, early Miles, gotta love it. And with that, he sent me a couple albums I hadn't heard. So look at this one, Manteca from Claire Fisher. It's on the Pacific Jazz label. It's from 1965. I had not heard too much of this artist, so the seller said I just kind of threw him in because I knew you liked jazz, because we were kind of been talking back and forth, and I thought that was super cool. You know, I mean, you don't just get that very often. So pretty good album. Claire is actually a man, so it's got a lot of different types of music on it, but this is like West Coast jazz, so very, very enjoyable. And he also sent me this one, Lester Young, Prez is Blue. This is on the Charlie Parker records. Pretty cool. And I have not listened to this one yet, so I'll have to get back to you on how I think this one is, but I mean, it looks fantastic. So anyways, that was my jazz finds from, I don't know, over the last month or so. I haven't been finding too many at estate sales lately. It's hit or miss with jazz stuff, so hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.